Hey cinema fans, welcome back to another movie review. Today we got Solo, a Star Wars story. It does have some surprises here or there. It does lack complexity and substance. Now some say that this film isn't rewatchable, but for me personally, I've watched this film more than I have the sequel trilogy. And well, besides Rogue One. Rogue One and this is, I watched, to be honest with you, Rogue One and the Solo film, like I've watched those more than I have the sequel trilogy. Well, The Force Awakens I watched a bit when it came out, but the Solo, I've watched Solo more than I have the sequel trilogy. Actually, no, more than the prequel trilogy throughout my whole life. Well, except for Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorites. In the end, this film is a fun, simple Star Wars story, telling the story of how Han Solo acquired the Millennium Falcon, the relationship between Chewbacca, which is cool, Lando. You got Emily Clark from the Game of Thrones showing up in here. You got my boy, what's his name? I had to look it up. Woody Harrelson, like, he was awesome in this. I loved how he was somewhat of a mentor, a little bit in a way, to Solo. I also liked the tie-in. The first time a Star Wars film that ties into some of the, I mean, they all do inadvertently, but this time this film actually intentionally was tying into some of the Clone Wars show. And I'm talking about the Darth Maul cameo at the end. But again, it's a simple heist Star Wars film. It's nothing too special. It's not as special as the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy. Now, I will say this is a better film than The Rise of the Skywalker. I'll die on that hill. I think it's a better film. Honestly, it's just a great, simple Star Wars film, and for people to say that it's not rewatchable are full of shit. This film is definitely rewatchable. It's fun. It has that Star Wars flavor that you get from the original trilogy. Also has some of that. It does have some of that Marvel flavor, which has, I don't think Marvel flavor should have any touch into the Star Wars stuff, but I mean, it's a fun Star Wars film. I don't understand the hate that I got for it. It's definitely underrated. I give this film a solid 7.2 out of 10. You know what? F it. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Eat that, you toxic Star Wars fans.